Dr. Emily Carter wiped the sweat from her forehead as she hurried through the narrow metal corridors of mining. Station Delta 7, the artificial gravity felt heavier today. Or maybe it was just the weight of another 14-hour shift, treating miners with lung infections and broken bones. Her medical bag bounced against her leg with each quick step. The familiar sound was somehow comforting in the endless hum of machinery that never stopped on this remote outpost. The emergency call had come through her calm device, just as she was finally sitting down to eat her first real meal in 8 hours. Security Chief Jake Morrison's voice had been tense, which was unusual for the normally calm ex-military man. "Doc, we need you in Waste Sector 7. Got a situation with some kind of animal? Might be dangerous." Emily had grabbed her kit without hesitation. In 3 years of working on frontier mining stations, she had learned that "might be dangerous" usually meant definitely dangerous, but we don't want to panic anyone. The Outer Rim stations attracted all kinds of trouble from pirates to exotic diseases, but this was the first time anyone had mentioned an animal. The waste sector was the least pleasant part of an already unpleasant station. Massive recycling units churned and ground constantly, breaking down everything from food scraps to worn-out mining equipment. The air tasted metallic and stale, and the lighting was dim to save power. Emily had only been down here once before when a maintenance worker had gotten his arm caught in a processor. She found Jake standing near a pile of discarded mining gear, his hand resting on the grip of his plasma pistol. 2 other security officers flanked him, their weapons drawn, but pointed at the floor. All 3 men were staring at something behind the equipment pile, and Emily could see tension in every line of their bodies. "What exactly are we dealing with here?" Emily asked, setting down her medical bag and pulling out her scanner. "See for yourself," Jake replied quietly, stepping aside to give her a clear view. Emily's breath caught in her throat. Behind the discarded machinery lay the most beautiful and heartbreaking creature she had ever seen. It was roughly the size of a small horse, but built like a massive cat with 6 powerful legs that ended in retractable claws. Its fur was a stunning silver color with darker stripes that seemed to shimmer and shift in the poor lighting, almost like looking at moonlight on water. But what made Emily's heart ache was the obvious suffering in those incredible amber eyes. The creature's breathing was labored and shallow, and she could see strange lumps moving beneath its skin, like something alive was crawling around inside. Despite its pain, those intelligent eyes tracked her every movement with an alertness that spoke of a mind far more complex than any simple animal. "The Altarian trade delegation left 3 days ago," Jake explained, never taking his eyes off the creature. "Found this thing about an hour after their ship departed. Been getting worse ever since." Emily had heard of the Altarians but never seen one in person. They were one of the few alien species that bothered trading with human settlements this far out. Most aliens considered humans too primitive or unpredictable to deal with. But the Altarians were apparently willing to trade advanced technology for the rare minerals that human miners seemed exceptionally good at finding. "So, they just left it here?" Emily asked, pulling out her medical scanner and slowly approaching the creature. "Just abandoned it in the waste sector," Jake replied grimly. "Thing's obviously dying. We should put it out of its misery before it gets aggressive." Emily knelt slowly about 10 feet from the creature, making sure to keep her movements calm and non-threatening. The scanner in her hands beeped softly as it began analyzing the alien biology in front of her. What she saw on the small screen made her stomach turn. The creature was in agony. Whatever was moving under its skin had spread throughout its body, and the bio readings showed massive inflammation in what appeared to be its nervous system. But despite the obvious pain, the creature made no aggressive moves toward her. Instead, it simply watched her with those haunting amber eyes that seemed to hold a desperate kind of hope. "You're not going to hurt me, are you?" Emily whispered more to herself than to the creature. "You're just scared and hurting." The creature made a soft sound, almost like a whimper, and Emily felt her heart break a little more. This was clearly an intelligent being, not some mindless animal. Whatever the Altarians had used it for, they had abandoned it to die alone in the worst part of the station. "Doc, I really think we should step back," Jake warned. "That thing could snap at any moment." But Emily was already moving closer, her scanner providing more detailed readings with each step. The creature's vital signs were weak but stable. And more importantly, it showed no signs of preparing to attack. If anything, it seemed to be trying to make itself appear smaller and less threatening. "Give me 48 hours, Emily said quietly, not taking her eyes off the creature. "What?" Jake asked, clearly surprised by the request. 48 hours? Emily repeated, "If I can't help it, then we'll discuss other options. But I won't put down an intelligent being without at least trying to save it." Jake shook his head slowly. "Emily, this isn't some injured miner. We don't know anything about this creature or what it's capable of. For all we know, those things moving under its skin could be contagious." Emily had already considered that possibility, but her scanner wasn't detecting any airborne pathogens or dangerous radiation. Whatever was wrong with the creature didn't seem to be communicable, at least not yet. Still, she couldn't let the creature die in front of her without at least attempting to save it. "I'll keep monitoring it," Emily said, her voice gentle but firm. "I need to at least try." Jake hesitated, then nodded reluctantly. "All right, Doc, 48 hours. But if anything goes wrong, we're putting it down. Understood?" "Understood," Emily agreed, her attention already focused back on the creature. As the next 2 days passed, Emily worked tirelessly, using her medical expertise and the limited resources of the station to stabilize the creature. She kept the waste sector quiet, moving in and out of the dimly lit space, monitoring the creature's condition. It didn't improve much, but it didn't worsen either. The strange lumps under its skin still shifted with unnatural movement, and its breathing remained labored. Emily grew more and more concerned, but she refused to give up. By the second night, the creature's condition seemed to plateau, no longer declining but not improving either. Emily sat on a stool near the creature, lost in thought. It had been hours since the last time she checked its vital signs. The creature lay still, its amber eyes staring at her, full of intelligence and trust. "You're strong," Emily whispered softly, a tear slipping down her cheek as she watched the creature's suffering. "But I don't know how much longer you can hang on." Just as she was about to check the creature again, an alarm blared through the station, piercing the air with a shrill, unrelenting wail. Jake's voice crackled through her calm device. "Doc, you better get out of there. Something's wrong. We need to evacuate." "Jake, I can't leave it." "Not now," Emily said, her voice firm. "Emily, we don't have a choice. We've got bigger problems. Just get out now." Reluctantly, Emily packed up her medical kit, making one last check on the creature. It seemed to be waiting for her as though it knew the time had come. She gave it a soft pat on its head before leaving the waste sector, locking the door behind her. The evacuation was swift, the station in full chaos as alarms blared and crew members rushed to the escape pods. Emily knew there was nothing more she could do now. As the pod doors closed and the station receded in the distance, she couldn't shake the image of the creature's amber eyes. What would happen to it? Would it survive? And more importantly, would anyone ever know the truth about what the Altarians had left behind? Her heart was heavy with the questions that would never be answered.